deafening roar that splits the sky, a ground-shaking footstep, and a silhouette that has haunted our imaginations for generations. This is Tyrannosaurus Rex, the undisputed king of the dinosaurs. But behind the Hollywood roars and terrifying teeth lies a creature far more complex and fascinating than you might imagine. Today, we're digging deep into the fossil record to unearth 10 incredible facts about the ultimate predator that will change the way you see T-Rex forever. So, buckle up, because we're about to travel back 66 million years. Let's kick things off with a big one. His name, Tyrannosaurus Rex, isn't just a cool-sounding movie title. It's a powerful statement. In Greek and Latin, it means Tyrant Lizard King. Paleontologist Henry Fairfield Osborn, who named it in 1905, wanted to capture the sheer dominance this animal projected. He saw the massive skeleton and knew this wasn't just another dinosaur. This was royalty. It was a name that perfectly encapsulated its status as the apex predator of its time, a true monarch of the Cretaceous world. It's a name that has stood the test of time, and honestly, can you think of a better one? Now, let's talk about that bone-crushing bite. Whale Snow T-Rex had big teeth, but the sheer power behind them is mind-boggling. Modern scientific models estimate that an adult T-Rex could bite down with a force of nearly 12,800 pounds. To put that into perspective, that's like having 3 small cars dropped onto a single point. It's more than twice the bite force of the largest living crocodiles. This immense power allowed T-Rex not just to slice through flesh, but to shatter bone, giving it access to the nutritious marrow inside. Its teeth weren't just knives. They were railroad spikes designed for total destruction. Speaking of those teeth, here's a fun fact you might not know. T-Rex was constantly replacing them. Much like sharks today, a T-Rex would shed and regrow its teeth throughout its life. If a tooth broke off during a particularly violent struggle with a Triceratops, it wasn't a big deal. A new one would simply grow in to take its place. This conveyor belt of teeth ensured its deadly arsenal was always sharp and ready for action. Imagine having a perpetually fresh set of steak knives. That was the reality for the Tyrant Lizard King. Alright, let's address the tiny arms in the room. They've been the butt of jokes for decades, but were they really useless? Paleontologists have debated this for years. While they were definitely too short to reach its mouth, they were surprisingly strong. Each arm could likely lift over 400 pounds. Some theories suggest they were used to slash at prey at close range, to help the T-Rex push itself up from a resting position on the ground, or even to hold on to struggling victims. So, while they might look a bit silly, those tiny arms were packed with muscle and likely had a very real, very brutal purpose. They were less comic relief and more compact weapons. So, how did this colossal predator find its prey? It had a secret weapon, an incredible sense of smell. By studying the inside of T-Rex skulls, scientists discovered it had enormous olfactory bulbs, part of the brain that processes smells. This suggests that T-Rex could smell a potential meal from miles away, much like a modern vulture. This ability would have been crucial for tracking down prey or for finding carcasses to scavenge. It wasn't just a brawler, it was a highly specialized tracker, using its powerful nose to lead it to its next meal. The scent of fear was probably its favorite cologne. Another fascinating insight comes from its eyes. Look at a T-Rex skull, and you'll notice its eye sockets are positioned on the front of its face, not on the sides like many herbivorous dinosaurs. This gave it excellent binocular vision, just like humans and eagles. This meant it had fantastic depth perception, allowing it to accurately judge the distance to its prey. When you're a 40-foot-long predator charging at high speed, being able to tell exactly how far away your target is isn't just helpful, it's essential. This visual precision made it a far more effective and deadly hunter. Now for a surprising twist. T-Rex may have had feathers. I know, it shatters the classic scaly-skinned image, but fossil evidence from some of its earlier, smaller relatives, like DeLong and Ute, shows they were covered in primitive feathers. While skin impressions from an adult T-Rex show scales, many paleontologists now believe that young T-Rex hatchlings may have been covered in a downy coat of feathers for warmth, which they shed as they grew larger and no longer needed the insulation. Imagine a fluffy, turkey-sized baby. It's a very different picture, isn't it? Let's consider its lifespan. Dinosaurs didn't live for hundreds of years like ancient turtles. By studying the growth rings in their fossilized bones, Much like the rings of a tree, scientists can determine their age. It seems T-Rex had a live, fast, die young lifestyle. They grew incredibly quickly during their teenage years, packing on as much as 5 pounds a day. Most T-Rex didn't live past the age of 30. Their lives were often cut short by intense competition, injuries sustained while hunting, or disease. It was a brutal life, even for the king. So, was T-Rex a lone wolf, or did it live in packs? The classic image is of a solitary hunter, but some fossil discoveries are challenging that idea. In a few locations, multiple T-Rex skeletons of different ages have been found together. Some paleontologists interpret this as evidence of social groups, perhaps a family unit. It's possible they hunted cooperatively, using their combined strength and intelligence to take down the most formidable prey, like the heavily armored ankh. The thought of a pack of T-Rexes is a truly terrifying prospect and paints a picture of a more complex and social animal. And for a final fact, let's talk about its brain. T-Rex wasn't just brawn. It had the brains to back it up. Relative to its body size, T-Rex had one of the largest brains of any non-avian dinosaur. Its cerebrum, the part of the brain associated with thought and perception, was surprisingly large. This suggests it was a relatively intelligent animal, capable of complex hunting strategies and sensory processing. It wasn't just a mindless eating machine. It was a smart, calculating predator at the absolute top of its game. A perfect combination of size, power, and intelligence. From its bone-shattering bite to its surprisingly keen senses and intelligence, the Tyrannosaurus Rex was so much more than just a movie monster. It was a perfectly evolved killing machine, a true king that ruled its domain with absolute power for millions of years. The more we learn, the more awe-inspiring this magnificent creature becomes. What do you think is the most incredible thing about T-Rex? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the amazing world of dinosaurs. Thanks for watching.